Yep, you're right. Yeah, yeah, the potholes are about as bad as I can ever remember. But we'll take action to try to remedy that for you. All right. Well, hey, thanks for calling. Okay. Bye-bye. Another pothole call. Say, welcome to City 101. Bet you'll never guess, but today's episode's on potholes. You know, this has been a terrible year for potholes. And it's the same thing about the water getting into the roads, freezing, and then expanding and kind of blowing up the pavement. In Richfield, we've had quite a few calls this spring, especially, and most of the calls really they center on 66th Street and Nicollet. Those are the two worst. And we're also getting calls on Portland, and there's a stretch of 76th Street right around 13th, 14th Avenue that's also we've been getting calls about. Now, one of the differences is, for example, 66th Street, Portland, Nicollet, Penn. Those are all county roads, and so those are maintained by Hennepin County. They're plowed by Hennepin County, they're patched by Hennepin County, swept by Hennepin County, and all the other maintenance that goes along with it. The rest of the streets are ours. 76th Street, let's just talk about that for a second. The problem that we're having at 76th Street, again, is really between 13th and 14th Avenue. We've gone down there, we've picked up the loose pavement that's there, and we've done some patching, but we're going to do some significant work on that one block stretch this summer. I think there's like 6 panels that we'll take out and replace. And then, of course, during the course of the summer with the Metro Sewer Project, 76th Street from 12th Avenue all the way over to where it joins up with 77th Street is going to be completely replaced. So we'll have a brand new street. With respect to the county, we have called the county, we've notified the county and told them of the problems that we're experiencing, that drivers are experiencing on 66th and Nicollet and the other county roads, and they've been in here doing some patching. What's interesting to know is that those county streets that I just mentioned, they represent about 1% of the streets in Richfield. The rest is maintained by City of Richfield. And I have to say that City of Richfield does an, I think, exemplary job of pavement management. And that is, we take a very careful analysis of the streets that we have, and by using tools such as milling and overlaying, and that's mill and overlays when we would go in with a special machine and grind out the top 1.5 or 2 inches or so of each road, and then put in the new blacktop and then a new surface with the seal coating, and that basically gives the street new life for quite a long time, and it prevents those cracks from appearing that the water gets into and eventually destroys the streets and makes the big potholes. Hennepin County, with respect to 66th Street and again in Nicollet, Portland, for example, those streets get a lot more traffic than our streets do, and they really don't have quite as an aggressive maintenance system on them as we have on our own streets. One of the things I hear from people is, well, okay, so it's a county road, so why don't we just take a city crew and go in there and patch the road and then just send them a bill? Well, I kind of look at it like this. It's kind of like you look out your window, you see your neighbor's not doing a very good job of maintaining their lawn, so you go over there, cut the grass, fertilize it, and everything for them, and then you present them with a bill. And what do you think the neighbor's reaction would be? Well, that's kind of how it is with governments too. Unless you have like a joint powers agreement or some understanding in writing ahead of time, you don't go out and maintain another government jurisdiction, streets or parks or anything of that nature, and expect to be compensated for it. After all, Hennepin County has their own crews, they have their own equipment, they have their own materials, and they have their own methods. And so the best that we can do in a situation like this is make them aware of the problems, and they are aware and they are addressing them. Streets are a big expense in Minnesota. For example, with all of the Richfield streets, if we had to replace our streets, it would cost about $100 million. That's just an extraordinary amount of money. Streets have an average life in Minnesota of something like 20, 25 years. Now, the majority of our streets were completed back in 1976. So they have, for all intents and purposes, they've lived their useful life. But if you look at our streets, they're in excellent shape, and that's because of the aggressive maintenance program that we have. So I don't expect that our streets are going to, are going to disintegrate in 20 to 30 years. They're going to last considerably longer than that because of the maintenance that we take. So for right now, be patient. We are dealing with the county to get especially 66th Street looked at. That seems to be the biggest issue. And the other county roads, they're out there patching. They're doing the best they can right now to keep the street in drivable condition. And we're dealing with our streets. And again, we don't have as many potholes to deal with, but we're addressing the ones that we do have. So until I catch you next time on City 101, take care.